Mr. Transformers 96 here with another video review. This time we're going to be talking about a newly shown Transformers figure. It's going to be the Masterpiece Starscream. So this is one that's been long rumored. They release Masterpiece figures so slowly, but I'm very excited to finally see the full figure in all of his glory. As you can see, they did quite a reveal for him. There's many, official images, and then they've done this awesome stop motion kind of test video to show off the features and the articulation, just the figure in general, which is awesome. So there's a lot to talk about here. Let's get started. We can come back to the video too a little later. But here's some of the official images for the Masterpiece Starscream. Overall, I think it looks great. And I'm also very happy that, of course, it's movie one, Starscream. I do enjoy the fact that they're keeping their Masterpiece figures very simple, where they're just making the movie with the most limited Transformers cast, and then, well, I guess Bumblebee would be that, but overall, Transformers 1 has a pretty limited cast compared to the rest of them when it comes to Transformers, and they're just kind of going through the ranks there, and I'm pretty happy with that. I think that they're making some very cool figures. The only Autobot that they have left to make is Ratchet, and then they do have other Decepticons if they were to continue. But with Starscream being the third Decepticon that's been shown from the Masterpiece series, with Megatron and Barricade being the only other two, he's looking quite good. I think that we've had a million Starscreams, so there's a lot to compare. But this looks like one of the best Starscreams out there. Very nice. I think overall his proportions look very good. His articulation looks very good. And that's, really well exampled in the stop motion video, so we can go back to that as well. As you can see, his jet mode looks quite cool. My only issue with it is some of the paint at the top is strange. I mean, this might be accurate, but I never noticed it in the movies, nor does any other toy of Starscream have this, where it's like a cream color, but then it has a dark gray highlights on it, and then these splotches of dark gray. I think that it looks very strange. I'm not big on the actual paint that they've gone with for the jet mode itself. I think that it's a little odd, and because in the movie it was basically just kind of a matte silver almost. At least that's what it looked like. So this odd tan and gray mix is strange. But nonetheless, I'd never display him just in jet mode. I think robot mode's the most important, and in robot mode he looks great. He really does. Again, I do think that the colors are... It's almost like they don't know what color he should be, and maybe that has to do with the movie, because in some shots of the movie he looks very silverish, in some shots he has more of a cream look, but they went with this weird middle ground where they did portions cream and portions gray, and there's no really any silver on him, but they almost have this bluish tint to give it a silver look, so it's just an odd choice paint-wise overall. My only issue with this figure is paint, really. The rest of it I think looks quite great. As you can see, he does come with a buzzsaw, which looks awesome. Obviously, didn't use that weapon in Transformers 1, and this is a Transformers 1 version of Starscream, but still very glad that he does come with it. And as you can see, I like the gun also that's on his arm. I think that that's quite nicely represented. A lot of Transformers figures, a lot of Starscream figures from Hasbro don't represent that super well, but I think that does look really nice. The leader one had it where it popped out of the arm, which was a cool feature, but it didn't look as slick as this, so I do like that quite a bit there. Some of just the kind of glamour shots. Overall looking cool. He does have his rocket launcher set as well. I think that does look nice. And that's, of course, the weapon that he did use in Transformers 1. They really are proud of the arms, it looks like. They've got a lot of shots of the arms. It looks like the arms are great, and I love the fingers. They look very menacing. And I do like the fact that they have individual articulation, although I don't think that I can't tell if they have articulation in the actual knuckles, because they do at the very base, but I'm not sure about the knuckles. From what I remember, at least in that video, they don't show any movement within the knuckles themselves, but each finger does have individual movement, which is nice. Yeah, overall looking really good. It's a solid figure. I think that it looks awesome. My issues with it are the price point, to be honest. I think that the Masterpiece figures nowadays have a crazy price point. They're nice figures, don't get me wrong. They're really good quality, but I do think that Hasbro is charging too much for what they are. This figure is going to retail for $150. It's going to be released on the 1st of September, and for the United States, it will be a Target exclusive. So that'll be interesting, considering the Masterpiece figures used to just be kind of Toys R Us exclusives, and then after Toys R Us closed down, they kind of weren't released at all in stores, at least for the United States, for like Megatron and Jazz. But now it looks like they're bringing it back into actual retail shops. So it'll be very cool to actually see this one on the shelf, but apparently it's going to be available only at Target. The $150 I think is too pricey. Back when they were releasing some of the first figures from the series, like Optimus Prime and Bumblebee, I think that their price point was a lot more reasonable. Bumblebee and like Barricade, I believe they were like $80 to $90, and then Optimus Prime was like $100, maybe $110. That seemed more reasonable. The big ones are about $100, $110. Small ones are $80 to $90. That makes sense. But then with the most recent sets with Jazz and Starscream, Jazz was like $100, and then maybe Megatron, and then Megatron was like 150 as well, or he might even be 180 actually. So I just think that the rise in price doesn't match the quality here, because these are great figures and they're definitely better than Hasbro's normal figures. However, they're not as good as the high-end ones, like high-end third-party companies or 3A, and therefore, they're in a price range that's pretty close to 3A, especially their deluxe series. Like this Megatron is probably going to be very similar when it comes to scale with some of those, like their Optimus Prime that they just released from the Bumblebee movie. And Optimus Prime is just a little bit more, and let me tell you, it looks a lot better. So personally, I do think that the price for this is overdone. I don't think that it's quite worth the actual price itself. Nonetheless, I do think it looks nice. I don't think I'm going to be picking it up purely because of the price, to be honest, because I do want Megatron as well, and I would love this Starscream, but at $150, it's not worth it in my opinion. It's almost Hot Toys level, and these figures, although very nice, much better than your average Hasbro figure, are not, a high-end collectible type of a figure, even though they seem to be pricing them as such. So that's the reason that I'm, not huge on the actual price point here. But overall, the figure looks quite good. So definitely let me know what you guys think about this new Transformers Masterpiece Starscream. It'll be very interesting to see if they do reveal Ratchet soon, and then going forward, it'll be very cool to see if they do other Transformers from different movies, or if they do continue with Transformers 1 and go with some of the other Decepticons like Blackout, Brawl, Bone Crusher. That would be pretty awesome. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of it, and thanks so much for watching.